Hey guys, it's Tolga SERT and today we are talking about acoustic isolation, treatment and do-it-yourself acoustic panels. About today's topic, as you can see there are lots of do-it-yourself panels in the studio. Those panels are mainly using for acoustic treatment. They are not the best option for acoustic isolation. And since I live in a single house in a suburban area, with less noise compared to downtown, I never thought I need acoustic isolation. But if you build a professional room, you don't need this video, obviously, because you know more than me. This place is not a professional area. But when you build in a professional room, you need floating rooms with lots of additional effort, lots of additional material. If you are trying to turn in a spare room into a recording area, those stuff might give you what you need. To build these panels, you need three ingredients. First of all is MDF or plywood for the frame. Then you need rock wool for the absorbent. Then you need different kind of fabrics. The must is raw fabric to cover the rock wool, because rock wool is a toxic material. And since those kind of rooms, those kind of areas, not the best ventilating area of the house, you have to care this material. You have to cover this rock wool with raw cloth, raw fabric. It should be a must for you. Then for cosmetic purposes, you can use a different fabric to cover the frame as a whole. I chose my old bed sheets, all black bed sheets for this purpose. I don't want to spend additional money just for the look. So let's see the frames. It's an empty frame which is a leftover from my production. The first thing is those frames have to be rigid, have to be strong. Also the simple corner pieces at the corners makes those frames really strong as well. You have to measure the dimensions of it well, but rock wool is a kinda elastic material. You can just squeeze the edges of it into the frame. Also my rock wool plates were 60 to 120 centimeters and the MDF width is 2 centimeters. So I built this stuff according to those measurements. Just handle this section with care. It's an important and delicate part. But once when you build those frames, everything is good to go. Here's the end product, as you can see all around the room as well. Let's see the back of it. As you can see, there are raw fabric in here, which covers the whole rock wool. I really want to warn you, you have to do this stuff. Just don't put the rock wool and put the final fabric on it. But when you cover the rock wool, you have to put the covered rock wool panel into the frame. Then you can put the additional fabric on it. The black fabric is not a must, but this thing makes the panels look much more cooler, I think. And it's black, it's metal. There's just a simple detail. Both fabrics should be thin, because we need to floating waves goes into the panel and absorbed by the rock wool. So if you use a thick cloth on the panel, it won't work right. So use thin fabrics. So you built the panels. Then let's talk about the placement. There are lots of approaches for this stuff, and you can find what's best for your room, for your needs. But simply, you can put your first panel on the reflection point. How you can find the reflection point? The point is directly towered to your reference monitor. For my configuration, there's another panel right before my reflection point, because the width of this room is kind of large, and the empty side of the walls was the reason of reverb for me. Also, like the placement of the panels, lots of different absorbent materials might recommend it to you. Personally, I don't recommend anything besides rock wool because of the density, There are lots of different foams, sponges, composite foams, but those stuff isn't work well, I think. It's a personal opinion. There are lots of personal opinions in this video, but I can share an absolute truth that comes from an audio. When I first built this room, I put a condenser microphone at the end of room. Then I record Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, which is a benchmark for me. So let's listen how the panels affect the waves floating around. I think you can hear the reverb at the low end and the sonic booms on the high end.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do.
Of course, you might need fine tunings like me. First of all, I think I need better bass traps because using those panels as bass traps not the best option. Also, without a panel above my head, the mids were more crisp, more harsh. Then I purchased a foam panel just to handle mid frequencies. Today I'm happy with my configuration and I hope you can build your own too. Before closing the video, I hope you enjoy the stuff and it might be helpful to you. Please don't forget to share your opinions on the comments and subscribe. See ya.